Hello and welcome back. My name is Jeremy, and today we're going to be talking about arrays. So, what is an array? An array is a key value pair. Um, for every item in an array, there's a key and then there's an index that is used to associate all the stored values. It sounds kind of funny, but I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. I also want to let you know that there are basically two types of arrays. There's numbers and strings. One nice thing about arrays in PHP is that there isn't you don't have to declare a fixed size like in most programming languages. They also don't require any sequential indexes, so I could say I have a key of 15 in one spot, I could have a key of 500 in another, and it doesn't really matter. Also, you can handle a few different types, or excuse me, data types in a single array. So you can throw in strings, you can throw in numbers. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and start making arrays since I kind of touched it, so it might be a little easier to understand what you see when I'm talking about. We'll start off with our simple PHP tags. Okay, and the first one we can do is, let's say we'll just call it a word array. So word array, and here we have to declare a variable. So I'm going to call it ARR. And then we have to use the keyword array. You use left and right parentheses, end it with a semicolon. Now in here, this is where we're going to declare our array that's going to be stored in the variable R. So to start creating this, we'll use the double quote, and we'll type in, say, my name, because it's just a word. And then comma, double quote, and we'll say Bob. Bob's always been a good guy. Another double quote, we'll say Hector. And last one, we'll say Tim. Right, so that's how you would go about making a word array. The next one we can make is a numeric, a starting numeric index. So what this would do, instead of starting with, say, oh, excuse me, let me back a little bit. With arrays, you count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. Well, I can actually say I want you to start at a certain number, then go up from there. So we'll just go ahead and we'll label this. We'll say numeric index. Well, actually, we'll say starting numeric index. And a good example of this would be like months, not myths, months. Okay. Again, we use our keyword array. Okay, so to start this, we're going to do, we'll say 1. And so this, our first index, excuse me, our first key will be 1. And we'll use the equal sign and the greater than symbol. This will assign it to the first month we're going to use, which would be January. We'll just abbreviate it, be some faster. And we'll say Feb and March and April. Okay, and the other way we can do this is called a non consecutive. That's supposed to be consecutive numeric indexes. So what this is there's no really rhyme or reason to what keys I'm going to use or anything like that. So the best way I could think of this was say a hotel room. So we'll just call it rooms, or rooms. And as most hotels are, you have let's say your level 1 or floor 1. You have, say, rooms 101 to 135 or whatever. Then you go to floor number 2, and then it's 202 to 285 or whatever, and so on and so forth. That's however big the hotel actually is. So here I could say level 10. And level 10 is going to equal, or I'm going to assign it to, I'm going to say 1023, room 1023. Then we'll go to floor 12. On floor 12 is going to be 1201. And then on floor 14, because there is no 13 in any hotels I can think of, 1451. Sounds good. Okay, well, as you can see, this is one method of making arrays here, and you're probably asking yourself, well, that's kind of cool, but how do I actually see this kind of stuff? Well, there's a quick and dirty way to do this, and just to see what's in there. And the nice thing about this is it allows you to see what's there, see if the key values are matching up the way you want them to. Also, it's good for just quick debugging. I mean, if something doesn't look right or whatever, you can just pop it out real quick, and the keyword is called command, or not command. Sorry, it's called print R. Ugh. Okay, so print R. Your left and right brackets, and with semicolon, and then you place in your variable, which I'm just going to use the first one, and we'll refresh. Oops, I didn't save it. I did not save this. Okay, so as you can see, sorry, I'm still laughing at myself from earlier. That you have this value pair, so you have 0, Jeremy's, 1, Bob, 2, Hector, 3, Tim. So that one looks good. That's how we set it up: Jeremy, Bob, Hector, Tim. So let's go ahead and let's look at months. Okay, so that worked. So our key is 1, like how we started off at. Now I didn't have to start this off with 1. I could actually change this to, say, 123, which wouldn't make sense for months, but just for demonstration purposes, that you can still see it goes still 123, 124, 125. It's still sequential. Then our last one is rooms. We'll refresh. And there's rooms. 10, 12, 14. So even though these aren't in alphabetical order, like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I can still set each one to how I want it to be set up. Okay, now that we saw how to just kind of dump it out to the screen, just to kind of see what's actually in this array and make sure everything does look kosher. Well, let's use our first example, our first array. Sorry, and let's say we didn't want Tim in there anymore. Oops. So to do that, we use what's called unset, and we'll give it the array name. And then, oops, left right brackets. So like I said, we count 0, 1, 2, 3. So I want to remove number 3, and we'll just copy this so we can have like the before and after look here. So I'm gonna get rid of Tim. So refresh this. Yeah. Let me put a break in there. That might be a little bit easier to read. Echo. Oops, press semicolon. There you go. So you can say in the original array that we had Jeremy, Bob, Hector, Tim. Well, when I unset or removed or delete, however you want to say it, I got rid of Tim, so now my array has shrunk by 1, and you all see that he is gone as well. So that's one way to adjust your array, that if there's something kind of wrong when you did the print R, like, oh, I didn't want Tim in there, I wanted so and so in there instead. So that being said, let's add so and so. So what we're going to do is we're going to we'll call our variable array, and we'll give it left and right brackets, and use the equal sign. We'll put in so and so. I'm just kidding. We'll put in Jim. So we'll save that. This should add it to the end of our array. So we'll just copy this print R, control copy. We'll paste down here, save. Actually, let me add in a break. Control copy. It's easy to read. As you see, we added Jim in instead of Tim. Now, one thing you've noticed that we're missing this value. You see here goes 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 4, because we've removed this and it just added to the end of it. So that's not really a big deal. There's a way that we could fix that, and the way to fix this is right here. Let me put that down. In this array, since we know it was number 3 that was removed, we can actually put in and say, okay, for this one I want it to be key number 3 again. So we'll save this, hit refresh, and you see this 4 changed to a 3. So that's a brief introductory of arrays. And the next one I'll be going through like the for each loop, even do how to use a count to see what size an array is. Stick around. Next video will be coming up shortly. Thanks for everyone watching and subscribing to my channel. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, leave them down below. You guys have a good one. Bye.